What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Prowler Hour, presented by Happy Hour Sports. I'm very excited. It was a bittersweet ending to the season, but you know what? I'm very excited. I got my boys back, the original Prowler Hour crew, back in studio. So, really happy. Got my boy Coach Ripley in the house. What's up, Coach?
How you doing, man? You survived the holidays, all the stuff.
I'll tell you what. I didn't survive this lab. I
Yeah.
almost didn't watch the game because of it.
Did you tell me you did the running circle? You got to do the circle every time. Come on
I
now.
didn't do the circle up, but I did this. I did spin the casa, and I was force fed
Nice.
shots the entire day.
I mean, so you were enjoying the atmosphere.
We were just talking before the pod. I was over optimistic in this game, and that's when I know for sure we're gonna lose. When I'm really excited, but we'll talk about it. But I also got my boy Schmitty. What's up, bud?
What's up, man?
Good to see you in the studio. Good to see
Yeah.
us all in the studio.
Yes. We
Absolutely.
finally
Long time
figured out a
coming.
way, right?
So let's get it. Cheers, guys. Let's talk about this the Bills game now that we have a couple days. All right, cheers, fellas. Cheers.
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 Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
So long over there.
All right. Where do we start? All right. I want to get some initial takeaways from this game. Coach, lead us off. What was your initial takeaway from this game?
Unfortunately, it's always going to come down to the missed opportunities. People want to put it on Trevor at the end. That's definitely not it. You look at the missed field goal, you look at the fourth down conversion, you look at the opportunity to get off the field in certain situations. It's just one of those things. You play playoff football. The Bills are a hardened playoff team. They have been through these battles and struggles, and you watch it back, or you look at the focus points of McDermott taking points every time.
Mm-hmm.
We scored on 3 out of our 4 possessions in the second half and lost a football game. Took the lead twice in the fourth quarter, lost a football game.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, the defense has to stand up and make a play. Now, you look at the stats, you look at this, you look at that, you can say, well, the defense didn't play bad. No, they didn't play bad, but they couldn't get off the field when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I felt like the Bills made key plays in that
100%.
game. When it mattered the most. Schmitty, how'd you think about that game? What was your initial takeaway? How about this? What was your initial takeaway going into the game, and then what was it after the game?
I was on the way to the game.
Okay.
I was describing what the Super Bowl parade was going to be like to my father and my wife. That's how optimistic I was about this postseason.
I don't think anybody thought we were going to lose this game. I was stunned to lose this game.
Absolutely.
We've played so well at home.
Yeah.
I think we had played so well for the last 2 months.
The Bills weren't playing that great.
And the Bills weren't playing well.
They had injuries.
All of those things. But the playoffs, the amped up of the moment, the understanding of the moment.
Yeah.
We saw Trevor have that first series. You could tell he was amped up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Settles down in the second series, goes right down the field. We score.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Well, I don't think we ever found rhythm. Now, we scored. We had moments, but I don't think we ever got into that rhythm of calm and here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And to the Bills' credit, they did just enough in tinkering with their coverages and playing some 2-man, playing some man-free, playing some true zone looks. That
they confused Trevor.
I don't think that they did a
lot.
lot of those things in whatever they had prepped for, and that's why I think you saw the first series wasn't good. The second series, they go right down the field. They got some things that they thought they were going to get, and then Liam found something with the motions and getting people to move and started running the ball away from it, and that was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
But from there, they settled in on defense and made Trevor really have to be pinpoint perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one he'll tell you is his fault, and the second one he'll tell you,
I mean, White made a good play on it.
You watch the replay, you watch the tight coverage of it. He's grabbing his hip the whole way down the field.
I don't know. I think
it's all part of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more. But yeah, Schmitty, what did you think about it? After the parade talk, what was your feeling? Your takeaway after the game.
Just pure heartbreak, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, Coach and I have been sitting here talking about how we've been fans since game 1.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember the first season because it was right around the time my little sister was born, and it was like, oh, a lot of big changes, all this stuff. I'm like, man, we've come so far. This is the year. This is actually it. It's happening. We look so good the last 8-9 weeks in a row, And it was just a sense of shock, the second that last interception is caught.
Mhm.
It was just like, man, I can't believe that this incredible season is over.
Yeah.
I had faith we were winning that game up until the last play.
Yeah.
And
me
I
too.
even was saying, you know what? It's okay. We have a kicker
Yeah.
that can kick the damn ball
That can take it
68
from
We
yards.
could kick it now, and
Right.
we'd be in
probably,
overtime.
He could have.
That's
Yeah.
why I was the same way. I was like, we're winning this
We're
game.
gonna be
I've
just
seen it
fine.
happen.
Exactly. And the fact that he missed the 54-yarder blew my mind. He said something about a little bit of wind. I mean, look,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can only be so perfect. He hadn't missed a kick, and I
That was
can't even remember.
18 in a row. He had made 18 in a row.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was
So-
literally.
So if you believe in numerology,
Mhm.
not to steal Taylor Swift's bag here,
Yeah.
but the Jaguars going into the game had won 8 games in a row.
Mhm.
Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills had lost 8 playoff games in a row
Right.
on
Hmm.
the road.
On the road.
Which one's gonna break, basically?
Josh Allen had never won a road playoff
Yeah.
game. The Bills series was tied up 10-10. So whoever won was going to have the lead in the series.
Mhm.
So the numerology of it was not in our favor.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I should have looked into that
And
kind
so-
of stuff, but
I felt like I was sitting on the edge of my seat the entire game waiting for something bad to happen.
Mhm.
And
it happened
unfortunately, it happened.
a few times.
Yeah,
A few little things here and there.
Unfortunately.
I would say this. I think number one, going into this game, I underestimated the Bills. They were a 12-win team, which should say something.
Yeah.
But I was like, outside of Josh, I think we could stop the run, which we did.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I was like, is he gonna beat us with these wide receiver core? I don't think so. Are we gonna be able to score and run the ball on him? I think so.
Absolutely.
So we'll get into it in a little bit, but I thought it was a pretty even match throughout the whole game. But who are we gonna give the game ball to? Schmitty, who's your game ball going to?
I gotta give it to Parker Washington.
Yeah,
He had the most impressive plays of the day. Obviously, I've been giving it to Trevor every week for the last 6-7 weeks or something like that, probably. But Parker was the one that really made like the game-changing plays on offense. We had some great runs. Don't get me wrong. ETN and Tootin were super exciting. I mean, we had the whole section doing the toot for those 3 long runs in a row. He had the
Yeah,
so
ETN
glad we learned.
touchdown. The place erupted. But Parker Washington, man, he's been so electric. Like for every game for the last 9-10 weeks since he became like a kind of a more of a full-time weapon.
yeah.
He had some incredible catches. That touchdown that he had in the back of the end zone over Benford was amazing. So
Mhm.
I got to give it to him, if anyone.
Listen, going back to training camp, Parker had the best camp out of any receiver, clearly, and
Yeah.
he was balling in camp, but even years prior, like I kind of equate LaQuint Allen to him a little bit. It's like the guy doesn't get a lot of opportunities in the past. I'm talking about Parker in the past behind Kirk, but when he did get in the game, he made some plays.
Absolutely.
So you knew the talent was always there, and I wasn't worried when Kirk left because I was like,
yeah,
I think Parker's more explosive, and I think he's a better player.
absolutely.
And this year, I'm just very excited for him to show that. Same thing with Strange, actually. But I agree with you. I think he had a great game. You think about the throw that Trevor made over the middle right before that kick that before
Right.
half too. That was a great catch. He
It
made
was
some other
amazing.
contested catches. So he's been big all year. He's been extremely hot since Denver, maybe before Denver.
That'd be
I mean,
even
we're
before.
Was it 4 games in a row where we're like close to 100 yards for Parker Washington? So
I think he went over 103 out of 4
Yeah.
games. The last 3 out of 4.
shout out to Parker Washington too. I've seen him
Absolutely.
up close in person a couple times so
Yeah.
far. Warming up. He's definitely the first team all calves. This dude's
Yeah.
calves are literally like
It's-
this.
He
That's
can
why
jump,
Russ likes to
man.
be here.
He can jump. He gets up there, man. He's
But coach, who's your game ball?
I mean, you can't argue with Parker Washington. If I had to give it to somebody else, it would be Josh Hines Allen. I think he showed up as much as he could on defense.
Yeah.
You got to give a lot of credit to the Bills. The ball was out. They did not want to give our guys a chance. And that's why you hear all the people talking about finding D tackles to push the pocket.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen harassed the other Josh Allen and got a big sack,
One
got
good
us the
sack.
punt, and those kind of things. But
Mhm.
if you have to rank him, it's Parker Washington's day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Man, I thought ETN could have really gone off in this game.
yeah.
I think he had like 60 yards on the ground or close to 70 or something, another 50 plus or something receiving. So the issue was, and we'll talk about it our stock downs too, like maybe why he didn't win the player of the game. But I thought ETN's been the most consistent player we've had all year. I definitely would also agree it's Parker, but that would be if we had to go another route. I think ETN played a really good game.
Yeah.
Let's go stock up, stock down. Okay. We have 3 and 3. I think this is a good week to end on because I think there's a good mix. Schmitty, who's your first stock up?
I just mentioned him real briefly, but stock up for Tootin, man. I mean,
Yep.
3 great plays in a row, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I think
he only had 4 carries and he went over 50.
yeah.
Think of that.
I was about to say, I'm like, I think
The
he
third
averaged.
carry, he was gassed. You could just see.
Yeah,
Poor
yeah.
guy.
Real quick, let's do a sidebar and I'll let you go back to Tootin too. But we'll get into the off-season stuff in a later podcast, I promise. But ETN and Tootin, I mean, are you comfortable letting Tootin be your RB1 going into next season?
I believe so. I think our zone scheme and the things that we want to do running the football are better suited to his talents.
Even with the year that ETN had?
I feel like, especially in this offense, when you look at, like, so if you give Liam Cohen his flowers, you go back when he was at Kentucky and he had Ray Davis, and that dude balled in his offense.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Tampa and you look at the 2 guys in white and the other guy, I can't remember his name right now.
Bucky Irvin.
Correct. Balled.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it is part scheme, part player. Tootin's going to be an exceptional pro. Is he going to be an all-pro? Is he going to be a Pro Bowler? I don't know. Small market issues. But Travis Etienne is a wonderful player. He's been a wonderful player since he was at Clemson. He was an All-American in high school. All these kind of things. He showed us what we all thought Travis Etienne was the day that we picked him.
100%.
This was by far and away his best season.
Right.
And he had touches, he had touchdowns, he ran the ball, he had big plays, he had long runs. Like, I'm not saying that we're not in need of Travis Etienne. I'm saying that the guy behind him, given those touches, given that opportunity, is probably going to do something very similar.
I feel you. Schmitty, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm sure he can do something similar. I hope he can get to the level of what we saw Etienne this season.
1,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, I believe.
Yeah. Etienne led the team in receiving touchdowns, which is kind of funny.
You know,
The running back led the team in receiving touchdowns. The quarterback led the team in rushing touchdowns.
Exactly, yeah.
Welcome to the 2025 Jaguars. But when it comes
Sounds
to the
like a college
2026,
Yeah, exactly, right?
when it comes to the 2026 Jaguars, I'm not sure if I'm ready. You know, this is going to be a Cohen thing, obviously, to see if Tootin can handle the workhorse back role. You know, if we can't keep Etienne, I think we definitely end up drafting a running back, probably in one of our first 2 to 3 picks, in all honesty, because I think they're going to like.
What about LaQuinn Allen? You know, like, does he deserve more opportunity?
Sure,
Probably.
but you still got to have 3.
I'm not going to argue that
Yeah.
fact. But you know, you start to look at the pieces. If we franchise tag him and he comes back, it's great. If we sign him to a contract that's team friendly or cap friendly, however you want to put it, that's great too. You know, because we know that if we got all 3 of them, we're going to be pretty good at running back.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, I think Etienne's had the most consistent. He's been the most consistent weapon on offense all year.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He's a threat in the run game. He's a threat in the pass game. I think the offense is so much more dynamic when you can have. You talked about Bucky Irvin. You talked about Rashad White. You didn't talk about this year. Well, you didn't talk about just Bucky Irving.
Right.
You didn't just talk about just Rashad White. So I think that the dynamic of having 2 backs there, plus all the plethora of receivers that Trevor has, I think it just makes the offense so much more dynamic, keeps these guys fresh. And I also think, Etienne and Trevor, there is chemistry, even though it's not like a receiver.
8 years.
There's some sort of team chemistry. There's something between the 2 of them.
They've been playing together 8 years.
And I would like to keep that at least for 1 more year. I think franchise tagging him is the option where they're the direction they should go. I will say there's a slight chance. I saw an interview. I think there's a slight chance you might be able to get him on team-friendly deal for 2, maybe 3 years. Probably doesn't make it to that 3rd year. But
does he have the soundbite of the offseason already?
That was wild too.
Absolutely.
He's never said anything remotely off cuff like that.
Yeah.
So when he said that,
season's over.
Well, I was gonna say,
let it
rip.
rip.
We're all about props, obviously. You know what we should do? We should get like a brass ball sack and just
put it right there by Trev.
Well, don't get it too close. Well,
maybe we'll
put it on the other side.
We'll move the surfing picture.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think I think ETN's good. But anyways, completely went off track. We're talking about Tootin.
Tootin is a stock up for me for sure.
Yep.
That doesn't mean that, I'm ready for him to be the number one running back. I love having two killer weapons like this. I know he's had a little bit of, ball security issues. He didn't in this game or anything like that. But, regardless of if Etienne's here or not next season, I think the future is extremely bright for Tootin, and I can't wait to see him, keep ripping off those long runs, hopefully 3 of them in a row again, starting, all through next season. Yeah, he really gave us some life there late in the game.
I feel you. Coach, who's your first stock up?
Anton Harrison.
Okay.
Yeah, he got out there.
I mean,
He was sprinting down the field.
on pin and pull, he's killing people.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
flat out killing people.
He's an athlete.
He is.
The biggest reason why he's my stock up, not that we ran the ball, not that he passed correct and only had, the one pressure allowed all day. I thought he had a serious knee injury. I thought he really hurt himself. I thought he was going to be donezo. And for those of you who've never had a knee injury or never had that put your foot in the ground and it doesn't feel right moment, he left the field, and I did not think that we would see him again. And
Yeah, that's right.
4 plays later, he was on the field.
Yeah.
So,
And he's stepped up big time this year too.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of talent, and I think the coaching staff, it was a big conversation. Sorry to cut you off, but it was a big conversation in training camp with him. You saw Adoga, I think it was the guy that came in and was
and Fred Johnson.
They were thrown in the mix for starting job at right tackle, and I think he really answered the call. And I think going into next year too will be kind of a prove it year, again. But I think he's going to play really well.
He's one of those guys that when we look back on the last 5 games, his play and how they've called plays to use his skill set and do certain things shows where they see him and who he is for us. I believe he's a captain next year. I believe he's going to be one of our best players.
Okay.
And he's my stock up.
Nice. I said ETN for mine, so we talked a lot about ETN. So I'm going to give stock up. Again, this is kind of be going back to when we played Vegas. I'm going to give it to Josh Allen, not Josh Hines Allen. I think a stock up, that guy going into that game, if you really think about it, the whole national media for some reason was saying he couldn't do it in the postseason. And he's done nothing. All the games against Kansas City, he's balled out in.
Yeah, absolutely.
He came in with a foot injury. He left with a concussion, a hand injury, and a knee injury. Still made every play in crunch time. Ran the ball, threw the ball. There's so many different plays that he made in crunch time that it's hard not to give him some love too. You know what I mean? I think in a game where we lose, I think it's deserved.
You can't argue with anything about Josh Allen. Jalen Ramsey started this all those years ago when he called him trash. And he hates us. He absolutely
good Josh
hates.
Allen.
And then we tagged onto it with our Josh Allen's better than your Josh Allen. And of course, that day that they played the 10-6 game or 9-7 game or whatever, and we beat him. Our Josh Allen was outstanding and sacked him 3 times and all this stuff.
Sacked him, fumble recovery, and interception.
He had the game. The Josh Allen we saw on Sunday is the MVP. That's who we saw.
Yeah.
You win an MVP in this league. I don't care who you are. I don't care what year it is. I don't care what your numbers are. You win an MVP that people vote on and you win for the NFL, you are a bad man.
Yeah.
And we saw a bad man. He picked us apart in the secondary. He worked on us all day. And when it came time to run the ball, when he had to run the ball, he was the most deadliest guy with the ball in his hands.
Yeah.
Because Cook didn't have a chance against our defense.
No, we that's basically how I thought the game would go. I thought the leading rusher would be Josh Allen. I thought, Cook, I thought actually would get more touches in the pass game. Who's your second stock up?
It's a good question.
I got a couple of them, and I'll be honest with you, not a lot of them are on our team.
Yeah,
but
of course, I'm not going to go.
I got
one
one on our team too, but I'm gonna let Coach go.
So mine's BTJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people are down on that dude, and he, everybody wants to talk about.
Wait till next season.
He was one of the reasons why we were successful in the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
They made a choice to cover Jacoby Myers like white on rice.
They should have went to BT more.
And I felt like early on we started to see that, and the touchdown pass was his. And then he had the out route on the, we were doing things to get him the ball.
They were taking away the middle of the field and our bread and butter with Jacoby, that deep dig route.
And so our play action stuff is for Strange and Myers and Washington. And
Mhm.
they knew that if they could somehow slow that down, not give it up, then we would have to go outside.
Mhm.
And who's our only outside weapon?
Right.
BTJ. And so the next step for BTJ is to take the top off. If we could have took the top off one time,
Yeah.
it changes everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
did we take many deep shots in that game?
No, we
I
did
don't
not.
think we
Really,
took any.
the one right
Parker
before half,
Washington is
yeah.
the one deep
Over
shot
the
that we
middle
took.
before
Yep.
the half,
which
yeah.
was
Yep.
beautiful to see in person. It was
100%.
incredible.
But BTJ did the little things, blocked, caught the touchdown, had 3 other catches. He played very well. And I believe as this season is put to bed for him, he's another guy like Anton Harrison. These coaches and their teammates have invested in them. They're going to show you next year the reasons why they're Jaguars.
100%. For my second stock up, I'm gonna give it to the front seven or the run defense.
I was gonna say the linebackers.
Yeah,
the
I think-
linebackers in general.
I think against James Cook is the leading rusher. You know, he's the rushing title leader in the NFL.
Mhm.
On top of that, I saw a statistic where I think 4 out of their 5 linemen were ranked like number 1 in run blocking. So you
Yeah.
were able to shut all that down.
Yeah.
And I thought, in part to that front seven, I'm gonna single out D-Ham. I thought Devon Hamilton
That's where I was
played
headed. He
Yeah.
a
played
great
amazing.
game.
He
But
played
yeah.
great. He was outstanding in the run game. There was 3 or 4 plays where he was the first defender to the ball and in negative, yardage opportunities, and the rally to it. We're getting people in the backfield, and that's
Yeah.
you put the onus on the quarterback to have to make plays, and that's the difference in the game.
Yeah. I was not that I was off on D-Ham before the season started. I just
He's
thought
just been hurt.
he wasn't that. Yeah, but also I've seen him.
he had a rough season last
Yeah,
season.
he was
He was
hurt.
hurt.
He had
He
some
didn't
back
play a
issues
lot.
and then some knee
I was gonna
issues
say
and stuff.
back.
Yeah.
I thought it was, yeah. So, but I thought he as a whole, D-Ham as a whole had a great season. Did you have another stock up?
Yeah, it's just the linebackers in general, and just kind of piling on to a lot of what you're saying. We did do a great job of stopping the run, and if you look closely, man, those linebackers, even they knew they were getting blocked. They were running through their blockers, man. Trayvon, I mean, I know Trayvon's not a linebacker, but just saying, look at what he did to some of those linemen, man, in that game. And Foye, Devin Lloyd hitting Josh Allen when he did try to run, even if, okay, he got the 1 or the 2 yards he needed, but he paid for it.
Yep.
Gardeck did get a little bit of pressure. He never got his sack. The linebackers had a really solid game overall. It wasn't obviously quite enough. We didn't have the
Splash
fiery,
plays.
exactly, the strip sacks or anything like that. But, they weren't the ones that are kind of letting Superman take over, is what we were basically, we kind of talked about in the pregame show, how Superman, Josh Allen, was their greatest asset by a mile, and he ended up being the game changer, but you can't really put that on the linebackers. It's not like he ran all over us. He just ran the exact amount he needed to when he needed to,
Yeah. Who's another stock up you got?
For me, it's LaQuinn Allen.
Yeah.
And this might be
forced fumble.
Yeah,
does
the forced
Quinn
fumble
Allen
on
have?
kickoff.
I think it's 3.
I think it's 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1 is almost impossible.
Yeah.
He's got 3 on the season.
Yeah.
On top of that, they use him in all kinds of different ways, as blocker, as a chipper, as he's trustworthy as a rookie. All of these things, plays on every special team.
He might be my favorite player.
And like
it's pretty close.
He is a football player.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
He's not a running back. He's not a linebacker. He's
Yeah.
a football player.
Yeah.
If
He's
you
got
told
that
him,
mentality.
if
too.
you told him he had to play tight end, he'd say yes, sir.
Yeah.
Like,
You play left tackle for Walker
You
Little.
know,
I know,
care.
seriously.
and would we miss a beat? Like
Yeah,
he's going to
right.
give you everything he's got.
Yeah.
He goes out there, he runs down the field on kickoff. He's out there on the punt team.
Yeah.
He's a dude, man. He is an absolute dude. And any guy who's sitting in a team meeting willing to say, "That's my bad, coach. I did that. That's on me."
Yeah.
There's a respect level from his teammates.
Intangibly rich.
There it is.
Absolutely.
And we're going to
Why it
start saying,
matters.
we're going to start saying that again here
Yep.
real soon.
Real
Yeah.
As
soon.
we start looking at the roster and how it's going to take shape.
Yep.
That's a good one. I think again, I apologize to do it. I'm gonna go back to the Bills for my second stock up, or my other stock up. I'm gonna go, or my last
Just
one.
because they're still playing. Is that why you
Well,
like
here's the thing. I'm giving credit to. I mean, not that I, discredited Josh Allen, but I definitely didn't think their secondary was that good. And I thought
Yeah.
their secondary really played well in this game. Not because they got 2 picks against us, but I felt like we didn't really get too many things going in that game.
think their physicality
Passing-wise.
and their scheme
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was maybe even
was-
maybe you could say McDermott or the
was very
is
upsetting
more of
to
it.
what we were trying to do, or the things that we had built that we
Mhm.
were, our bread and butter.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, and to the bread and butter thing, like that play action deep dig route
Uh-huh.
to Jacoby Myers has been
I
our
don't-
best
do
play
we have
for 8
one?
weeks.
Do we have one?
Well, they took it away. They played a load of different coverages that took away the middle,
Yeah.
Robber and
Exactly.
Tampa 2 and things
Yep.
like that.
The Tampa 2 was excellent.
The issue is what happens is we've been really good at making adjustments in this game. And I think my first stock down goes to Liam Cohen because unfortunately I love him. I still think he deserves Coach of the Year, but there's so many instances in this game where I know Liam is kicking himself saying we should still be playing next week. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably because I made these decisions. One, in-game adjustments, I thought you're gashing them. You're gashing them on the run. We just talked about Tootin getting 50 yards on 4 carries. ETN had 10 carries and it was crushing them.
Yeah.
We should have ran the ball like we did against the Chargers. And guess what? I'm not even mad that he was balanced in the beginning, but once you start seeing that, you run Coach. Once you start getting the run going
You're preaching
or
to the choir.
any play going, you run the same play every single time until they show you they can stop it.
And
Yeah.
that's a Buffalo Bill thing. Marv Levy was the guy that kind of stood on his box and said, "We're going to run the same play till you stop it."
Yeah.
Now it might be out of 3 different formations.
Yeah.
But we're going to run it
Exactly.
the same play until you can guarantee us you're going to stop it.
And Liam Cohen's been awesome this year at in-game adjustments. This game, I was really surprised. And to the point about the bread and butter and taking away that deep dig to Jacoby, guess what? The last play of the game, a lot of people were saying, obviously Trevor's forcing it in there to Jacoby, and that's why there was the tip ball and the interception. But Parker's running free on the deep crosser. Liam, I would think, is smart enough, and maybe he did run that play, and maybe it's Trevor. We don't know, right? We'll never know. But I think what he should have took advantage of is saying, hey, listen, the last drive of the series or of the game, this is what they've been taking away all game long. I know they're gonna sell out for the middle of the field. Let's go to the outside. Let's go to the deep crosser. Let's hit something like that where we're taking advantage of what they've been doing all game long. So that's my 2 cents. But also the 4th down, that's another issue I had with him. I've been screaming all year. You guys know better than anybody. I've been screaming, take the points.
Yep.
Stop being so aggressive when you don't need to be aggressive. LaQuint Allen just got a forced fumble on a kickoff in a playoff game. You're in your own red zone and you get 0 points. Now, the play would have worked and it was open.
It was right there.
But
Yeah.
in my heart of hearts, like watching the game, I'm like, just take the points. Go up. You're up by a touchdown. Let it go. Go back. Live. Make them pay. We saw it in the Chargers game against the Patriots. Same thing happened to Harbaugh. We saw the Bears do it. With Ben Johnson on his own 30 in like the first quarter.
Yeah.
And it was awful. So, just my 2 cents. It frustrated me all year. So I'm not just saying, hey, in hindsight, this is the issue. Liam Cohen, you deserve Coach of the Year. He had a bad game, and he knows it. I'm not trying to shit on him. We got to talk about the game, and I think that was the biggest part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think he called more runs than what actually played out because I think
Trevor
McDermott
checked out of it?
Exactly. I think McDermott realized, you know what? Trevor, anytime he sees whatever certain,
He's going to check it.
he's going to can it into a
That might be
pass.
fair.
He's going
I'd
to go.
like to know those numbers for sure.
Yeah.
To give some validity to that, but you might be onto something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's what my gut is telling me.
The other
is 'cause
piece,
he was very active pre-snap.
I
You
watched.
could tell him. You could tell he's giving
Yeah,
some
they
signs.
checked out a lot. They did some stuff.
No, that's a
up
good
front.
point. I didn't even really think of that.
I'll say this: Walker Little got his butt beat on the last play, and so when you got a dude running after you like that who's screaming down your neck, you're going to throw the ball to the most comfortable thing. And hats off to the dude; he made a great play.
Is Walker Little your first stock down?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever been so critical of a player on my own team or on my favorite team or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I feel bad. Like, here's the thing. Like, I just want to also preface this for anybody listening. Anytime we talk about a player, we respect them, obviously. Like, we can't do what they do. But also, like, when we're talking about him, like, I think he's been the biggest liability since Cincy, and I've been very vocal about this.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably a really good dude. I'm not taking a shot at him, but he's been a liability. And we've noticed that because Cole Van Lannon got paid because of it when he showed that he could just be a stopgap guy.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think to your point, though, I don't think this is Walker Little's worst game. I think that was the Texans game when we lost.
7 sacks.
Yeah. But
doesn't get much worse than that.
But here's the thing where I think it did hurt the team. It's Trevor's confidence.
Exactly.
I think what happened is
belief and I'm going to be comfortable. Right
the
now.
belief that I have enough time, and I think that's partially why you saw probably both picks. And I think he thought maybe, you know, I got to get the ball out a lot quicker in this game. So I think that's partially it. I mean, he had the 2 penalties, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the sack, whatever. But I think the first part where Trevor's not comfortable having his blind side protected by Walker Little, that was a good point as being a stock down.
And, you know, the other side of that is you look at that bread and butter piece that we talked about and go back and watch the tape of just us. Just watch our tape.
Yeah.
Of the first 5 weeks. I said to you numerous times, what's our favorite play? What's our best play? What's our favorite play?
We didn't have it until we got Jacoby.
There it is.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
once you understand that comfortable, that mentality of what comfortable is.
Yeah.
When you call a play and the check is your favorite play.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not there, coach. I'm going to check it to the one I like. Jacoby.
Yeah.
You know,
we're going to make it.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things. Again, getting the coverage, getting what you want, getting to where you're supposed to be. The stock down and is did we get out coached? Maybe.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Or did we get schemed?
Out schemed.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so I try to tell people all the time, those guys on the other side get paid too.
100%.
They get paid. And
know
to
what they're
McDermott's credit, you know, this wasn't his first rodeo. He's been around this deal and seeing great quarterbacks, and unfortunately he ain't won very many of them. So he found a way to get it done.
It was a good win for the Bills. It really is. And by the way, I'd rather root for the Bills than like most other franchises. Like we was talking about the tailgate. They're really cool people too. Like,
they love
so
it.
I like listen. A lot of them were trying to give me shit for like, you know, in like our videos and stuff too. I'm just like, good luck. I was like, I'm not even mad about it. Like good luck. Go win it. You know what I mean?
And
get over the hump. But let's go to the another stock down because I think the secondary really was another. You know, Liam I think was the first one. I think Walker was another good one. But I think the secondary in this game with communication and busted coverages. We talked about this a little bit before. Like, in this game, if we turn the ball over, if we beat ourselves with busted coverage, like the wide receiving core that we played, was it any good? You know what I mean?
No, it's a joke, man. Brandon Cooks is my age and burned everybody. And I was.
Smitty, I saw you run down the steps. You still got a little bit left, man. You got a little bit left.
I was going up and down those steps, man.
But I think that the just last piece real quick, the communication, the busted coverages.
Yeah.
Really, what pissed me off the most in this game was. I don't even think it's against. I don't think Coach Camp did anything wrong in this game.
No.
I think they threw so many stupid screens. Shakir killed us because
12 receptions
we couldn't get off block. Our defensive backs.
Yards, 72 yards.
Yeah.
What was it? 12 receptions.
Not a lot. It wasn't 100.
Guys,
12
whether you want to
it
believe it or not,
close.
that's the running game.
Exactly. They were getting it out
Yeah.
quick, and that's why I don't blame the pass rush as much.
Nope.
Even though I thought he had
So-
a little bit of time, but we couldn't get physical enough to get off blocks and tackle.
My favorite breakdown of the whole deal is they were 13 of 14 for 152 yards and a touchdown when targeting Jerry and Jones and Newsome.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought even Montero, who's been awesome this year, he gave up a few plays that he shouldn't.
So
have.
how do you look at that? How do you break that down? Where can you put your mindset at? Okay, this is real simple. They figured out on offense, Joe Brady figured out, here's how we do this. We're going to stay in formations that keep those two guys on the field. And once they realize that.
But we also use that primarily too, that they know the data that we like to stay in that
So
too.
for the first time in a month since he's been hurt, we missed Jordan Lewis.
Jordan Lewis was we talked
So-
about it on the Jungle Beat, was a big miss in this game.
For the first time, maybe since he got hurt, we missed
Yep.
Travis Hunter. because that changes how they
I
can
knew
play the
exactly
coverage.
where
They
we were
could play
going
man
with
on the
this.
backside with him. They could do different things because he's a different type of player, athlete, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Bills, tip your hat to them. They got us into the stuff to where they could use their favorite plays and the things that they wanted to do
Mhm.
to our guys, and they picked us apart.
You know what's confusing? Or not confusing, but disappointing. Because I thought Jarian Jones played really well in the second half of the season. And
There's no
Second half
doubt.
of the season,
No
absolutely.
doubt.
really, I think
Yeah.
most of our secondary did.
Yeah.
Antonio Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but here's the issue: is we were talking about Jordan Lewis. Like Jordan Lewis, I don't know how many times in the first half of the season you saw a screen and
he
he
ate it up.
absolutely demolished whoever caught
Yeah.
the ball.
Here's the other thing that he doesn't get credit for.
The communication piece.
He's our leader.
Yeah.
He's our
leadership.
true
He
defensive
was
captain.
a secondary leader.
He's the one that walked into the huddle and says, "This is what we're doing. You get over there, get the top side of 7. And this is what they're going to run."
Yep.
And then he's running down there blowing it up.
Greg,
I actually think that's why why the secondary is so good in the second half is because I don't know if you guys caught the interview that Jay Lou did in the wrap ups at the end of the year wrap ups. He was talking a lot about Coach Camp and learning from Coach. I think Jordan Lewis wants to be a coach too because
it might be.
I think he was really coaching these guys up because he's like you said, he has that leadership and he's the captain. I think he was really
He's been there,
like
done that.
doubling down and trying to
Yeah.
get these guys ready to
Yep.
play. And I thought he did a great job. And it doesn't go. I don't think the coaching staff highlighted it enough, but I think behind the scenes he probably was really
100%.
big to help all those guys play well.
Absolutely. And it's exactly like you said. This was the first week. I definitely feel like we missed him. It would have been nice to have had him this week. Say, Greg Newsome, don't bite on the short route. Don't forget about Brandon Cooks. I know he's 33, but don't forget he exists.
Well,
don't let him run for that 37-yard pass.
We
Three
talked
bus
about this
coverages.
on let's talk about that play because
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd comes flying in. He hesitates a little bit. He doesn't know if he should hit Josh Allen or if he should try to block the pass. But regardless, the issue's on the back end, and a lot of people are giving Greg Newsome crap, which I think throughout the game he definitely gave up a few things. But
Yeah.
I don't know what the play call is, so I can't speak to it too well. But Eric Murray came flying up to cover the underneath route. I don't know. I think it was like 3rd and 5 to 8 or something. And he came flying up to cover the underneath route because Newsome took the guy high. Again, Coach, you could probably speak to it better if you saw the play, but
Oh, I saw it.
I don't
Murray
know. I don't know
may,
what they were. I don't know what
So-
the issue was, but I feel like that was more on Eric Murray than it was on Newsome,
So it's
Possible.
who's been also playing good this season.
100%. And so, like, you look at it, and if you want to be critical of it or look at it from a coaching point of it, you got a free runner.
Mm-hmm.
And man, how many times can we say we got a free runner? How
Not
many
many.
times do you remember our guy coming crystal clear clean like
Yeah.
Lloyd did for that? Okay, Lloyd had to make the decision in a millisecond of do I want to jump
Mm-hmm.
or do I want to try to run through his face? Either way, he's screwed. He chose wrong, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. When you call a blitz like that and it works, the coverage piece of it behind it, you have two choices. You play zone and keep everything in front of you, and then you just kind of rally to it. Or you play some type of man zone where you've got underneath help on something, and you've got over a top player. We didn't make the play.
Yeah. Well, I
it's not
think
a
that's
scheme. It's not an effort thing. It was
This is the
the
point,
ball is
yeah.
in the air, and we didn't make the play. And if you look at our season, there's 3 or 4 of those. The one that sticks out the most is against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, we absolutely obliterate him, and he throws a prayer, and they catch it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, and when you watched it live, like you were like, "Oh my God, we're going to kill him," and then the ball's in the air, and you're like,
Yep.
"You got to be kidding me!"
That play happened right in front of me.
And so it's going away from me. So you look at those things. You can be critical. You can point the finger for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
But what it comes down to is when the ball's in the air, you got to go get it. And that ball was in the air for a good bit.
Yeah,
and,
but
and we didn't make the play.
Yeah, here's the thing too, where we're all kind of looking for something to blame, I think. But if it really boils down, like they just made better
They
plays.
made
than
plays.
us. They made more plays than us when it mattered the most. And
There was no
football's
pressure.
like that. Playoff football's like that.
There
It's
was
a flip of a coin, and the frustrating part isn't that they beat us in a close game. It's that we really probably should have beat them by 10 points
And
if we didn't beat ourselves.
Yeah.
and that's one thing about the Buffalo Bills that you're going to see this week when they beat the Broncos is they've been there. They've done this. This is old hat for them. Like,
Yeah.
they're not worried about crowds. They're not worried about white towels. They're not
Yeah.
worried about Mile High. They're not worried about any of that. They
Yeah.
went into Mile High last year and beat the brakes
Yeah.
off of Denver.
Oh yeah.
Now, I think Denver's a little bit better. but
Yeah.
Josh Allen is still the dude right now.
Still
and he is by
Superman.
far and away the best player left in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Yeah.
even close.
Who do you
At least in AFC.
who do you guys like in that game going forward? Do you like Buffalo winning that game?
I'm rooting for him. I mean,
I'm rooting for him too, but I don't know if
I won't say
that's
rooting, but-
that's a much, again, I think it is a much tougher game than playing us, even though I think we had the better team than maybe even both of them. But
I think
the environment, I think, really
the
puts
environment is excellent
But they
after
have the
going there to
experience.
see
They've
it.
gone to
There you
Arrowhead.
go. Like,
So I think they can
they've
beat
been
them.
to all these places.
You know
It's
what I
no
mean?
big deal for them. I like the Bills right now. I think,
I would pick the Bills too.
the pieces of the Bills, they do enough on defense. They don't have the star of stars on defense,
You don't necessarily need it either.
but they play good team football.
Mhm.
They're well coached.
They don't screw up. They didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah. Let's
Yep.
touch real quick before we kind of move on to the other stuff. What'd you guys think about Trevor's performance in this game? Did you think he played a good game, bad game, in between? Like, what was your takeaway? Because he was extremely hot going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's gotten some criticism, but I don't feel like it's overwhelming. I feel like people
No,
realize what
no.
it was.
I think, unfortunately, our quarterback is the most polarizing figure on our team, and whether he plays
Yeah.
great or bad, somebody's going to talk about how bad he
Until
is.
he wins
Absolutely.
The whole
multiple-
thing and
the whole
shuts 'em
thing,
up.
or an MVP. Like, it's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
but he, I feel like, has
So-
gotten 75% of the way there this year,
So he
if not even more.
Yeah.
he played. Well, how about this? You ready for this? Okay. There are 3 players on this planet that have scored,
Yeah.
that have thrown
Oh, yeah.
2 touchdown passes in the fourth quarter to
of
take the
playoff
lead
game.
and lose.
Yeah.
They were both on the field in Jacksonville on Sunday.
And how about the statistic about
Josh Allen's done it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the statistic about his whole season this year
Okay.
with the amount of touchdown passes and then also
The runs.
the running
Uh-huh.
running touchdowns
It's
as well.
statistically one of the best years a quarterback has ever had
Mm-hmm.
in league history.
Yeah.
When you add up all of it, from his
The ground game
statisticals,
and-
the total yards, the passes,
73% completion rating on the season.
so
Great.
He got all
Um,
the way up to 73.
Yeah.
he
Is
was
that true?
73% over the last
Okay.
8 weeks.
Okay, that's what I
Oh,
was
I
going
thought
to
it was
say.
on the
Okay,
season.
No,
No,
was
because
just
73%
over
4,000 yards, I thought.
62% on the
Buddy
season.
was at 59 for one too many
Hold on.
weeks.
I want to Google
you,
this.
you Google it. I promise. I
No,
wouldn't lie to you.
that's why I was surprised. Yeah.
The last one I want to give you
season?
for Trevor,
Yeah.
okay, is he's the first and the only Jacksonville Jaguar to throw 3 touchdowns in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
Schmitty, is the question over for Trevor? Is it for the fan base or national media? Like, well, I think there are too many different questions. How about for you?
It
Personally?
hasn't been a question for me if Trevor's the guy since, I mean, honestly, really, I think since the big comeback in the playoffs against the Chargers,
Yeah,
and a lot of those last like
he's been
5 or
banged
6
up the
games of
last
that regular
2 years,
season.
so it's like you can't even.
Okay.
Exactly, and so that was his second season in the league.
Sorry,
First
my
season
drum.
with Doug
Where's my
Peterson.
drum? I'm gonna beat this drum to death.
Yeah,
So I haven't been questioning whether or not he's the guy. I don't know if he's ever going to be like MVP or whatever. And there's always going to be
he's
the
been in the
Richard
conversation
Shermans out
for
there.
2 years,
Absolutely.
which is
He's-
the second half of 2 years.
He finished 5th
He's-
in
he's been in the MVP.
2022.
Nobody
He
wants to
is-
ever
He'll
talk
probably finish
about
third or
that.
He is
fourth this
projected
year.
to finish 3rd.
Yeah,
Third,
nobody
yeah.
ever wants to talk about that. You ever
Yeah.
notice that?
So I could do this all day.
Yeah.
But you donkeys on Twitter that follow me and want to talk crap to me about Trevor Lawrence, bring it.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm at with Trevor. Okay. I've talked about this to y'all. I don't know if we've talked about it on the show. Jim
Okay.
Bob Cooter, for those of you who don't know, look him up. He's a coach in the league. He is an offensive person. He was the head coach of Detroit, all of these kind of things. Jim Bob Cooter in 2022 changed Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
right in front of our eyes. And he sliced and diced Baltimore, Dallas, the Chargers, all of these people. Okay. Jim Bob Cooter takes a job immediately after the season's over. And he regresses in front of our eyes because of Press Taylor and Peterson and that stupidity,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We finally get rid of those yoo-hoos and we get Liam Cohen, who is documented
Quarterback whisperer.
all of these places he's been.
And I don't think Udensky gets enough credit. We
Nope.
really haven't talked
Yeah.
about him.
And
Yeah,
Trevor's
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about him a bunch.
We
Yeah,
haven't talked
yeah.
about him
Okay.
enough this season, and I think
Alright.
the game planning he doesn't call plays, but I think the game planning and getting him prepared that's why you see
The
Udensky to all these different teams right now.
cerebral approach of Udensky is the thing that Trevor talks about.
Yeah.
So what you saw with Trevor as the season progressed, as everybody was ready to jump off friggin' Matthews Bridge, was that he's not making these plays. He's not throwing for 300 yards. He's not having 5 touchdowns. He's not doing all these things that all these great quarterbacks do. Well, when you got thrown into calculus, were you good at it when you first started doing it?
And did you have 5 different teachers?
Trying to show you what
Trying to show
algebra
you-
was to get there?
Yeah, different things.
All right. So once Jacoby Myers walks through the door, everything changes. Why? Why does that happen? We talked on this a little. We touched on it a little bit with this pieces and the understanding of you had pros in the receiver room.
Mhm.
Okay. Christian Kirk, been there, done that. Hats off to him for kicking butt in his playoff game. Okay. Evan Ingram. Talk about a guy that was flambéed in the media for not catching the ball and doing stuff. Started going
his
and
first
have
couple
what they call
seasons.
target training, where you work on wearing glasses and dots and catching balls and doing all these kind of
he's
things.
arguably one of the biggest reasons Bretton Strange had such a breakout year this year.
Okay. A pro's pro. So those guys leave, and a guy like BTJ is supposed to be the leader of the group. Parker Washington's supposed to be the leader of the group.
Yeah, I never. I gave BT a big pass on this, being a second-year guy,
There you
quiet
go.
guy, and
Okay.
struggling with.
They
other
bring
stuff.
in Dewami Brown. He's supposed to kind of, be this
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
and it never happened.
Yeah, that's why Jacoby's so important.
There you go.
That's why he got paid.
Jacoby walks through the door, and all of a sudden, it was like
Everybody clicks into their own niche. you
BTJ
know?
goes to being an X.
Yeah.
Parker goes to being the Z, or the slot, the true slot in our offense, where
Yeah.
we're not trying to
Force
gimmick
feed,
Beans and
Yeah.
put Hunter there and do
Yes.
those kind of things. Travis Hunter getting hurt sucked, but it was the best thing for our offense
I
because
agree.
then we stopped forcing the ball to somebody we were hoping to make plays, and we built an offense around a play action scheme, a dagger scheme, a post scheme, and understanding what our guys were good at.
Mhm.
And who took off after that? Trevor, because
I'll be
everything
honest,
was where it
everybody-
was supposed to
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
So that gave him a chance to be the point guard, distribute the ball. You don't have to go win the game. Just don't go lose the game. He didn't play a game manager role. He wasn't Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
I like the way you
So-
said that.
Like, I love Trent. And I've talked to Trent. Like, Trent's a good dude, but you
Yeah.
had the Bucks defense. You should have won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Those pieces you saw, and everybody who's been around Trevor, especially the local media here in Jacksonville, talked about is what? His confidence.
Yeah. We talked about that was the biggest thing going into the season
And
for
then
me.
Travis Etienne hit the nail on the head in his exit interview.
Exactly.
Trevor's the dude, man.
Just let your
Yeah.
nuts hang.
Let him hang, bro. Go be the guy.
Yeah.
Go be great.
That was the biggest thing. And it's funny that we talked about it in our very first podcast for Happy Hour Sports. We all talked about it, and I brought it up and said, listen, I think he's got more potential and talent than Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow kills him mentally in the confidence piece and in a lot of other mental pieces too. But
Yeah.
I think Trevor's accuracy improving this year is a big
Absolutely.
plus. I think his confidence obviously is a big plus.
The word should be switched. Confidence led to accuracy.
Okay, that's
The
fair.
confidence and understanding where your guys are going to be,
Yep.
that leads to accuracy.
Yeah.
Yep. So big ups to Trevor this year. I think he proved a lot of people wrong, and he still's got there's always gonna be haters that want to just make themselves
Always.
right. But
Always.
he's got multiple seasons
I don't
now that
know.
he's going into his second year with Liam. It's gonna be awesome. So we're definitely gonna talk about Trevor a lot more in the off season too. But
The coach in me can't help but try to explain this the best I can to anybody who doesn't know or doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand because you just don't like Trevor Lawrence.
yeah,
The jump from 1 to 2,
Mhm.
the growth from 1 to 2, all the off season stuff that instead
he's
of
gonna explode next
instead
year.
of install,
Yeah,
it's now refinement.
yeah,
It's now how can we be detail oriented to make this play better? How can we get your eyes to go through the progression faster?
Mhm.
How can we see that they're going to drop here because of where they're aligned?
Mhm.
Getting all these nuances of all the things that go on in quarterback play of distributing the ball to the right person. You thought he played good the last 8 weeks. My dream, my hope, my goal, whatever you want to call it is can the guy that played those last 8 weeks show up in week 1 and do it for 17?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think that's
a scary
that's
the
thought.
ultimate
that's
mission.
the
That's
goal.
a
That's the
scary
goal for
thought.
next
Yeah.
season. And I
Why
think,
does everybody love Joe Burrow?
Yeah, because he could do that.
Because he had 2 seasons where he sliced and diced, and
Yeah.
you know,
Here's the
he
thing
was
too,
awesome.
too. As long as he gets a competent offensive line, he's definitely has the weapons. He definitely has the coaching. So
We're here, boys.
the expectations there going forward. Let's talk
They
about
always go up.
a polarized. No, we're talking about polarizing. Let's talk about another polarizing topic. If you guys listen to the press conference after the game, I want to get her name right. I'm pretty sure it's Miss Lynn Jones from Jacksonville Free Press. Shout out to her. She gave a statement. She didn't give a question. She gave a statement.
Yeah.
And did everybody hear it?
Absolutely.
It's pretty hard not to. I think if you're on
I
Twitter,
think it's been on every news outlet in the
Yeah.
country, let alone Jacksonville.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
what did you guys think about it when you first initially heard it? What was your honest initial take?
My first take was like, good for her.
Yeah.
Good for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good for us that there's not everybody's drooling in there to talk bad to
Yeah.
Coach Cohen.
Because he was getting, I'm not that he was getting hammered more than any other coach would be asked tough questions
No.
about running the ball,
No.
fourth down, all the
Yeah.
stuff. But I agree. Yeah, keep going.
You know, and so the pieces of the puzzle, as you've had time to reflect, we've had a couple days to really kind of think about it. And, you know, it's in sports, there's a lot of unwritten rules and behaviors and those types of things. Well, in the media portion of it, you're not supposed to cheer. You're not supposed to, you know, those kind of things. And I think if she would have just asked a simple question, you know,
To wrap it up.
to wrap it up or to start it, she just, you know,
Yeah.
how's your wife? You know, something along those lines. If she would have just done something different and led
might have
into
made it
that,
worse, but
probably.
But
But I think that her heart and the soul in which she delivered the message was outstanding for people to hear, and
Yeah.
especially in our community, because we struggle mightily to dog our guys.
Yeah.
And you know, it was awesome to hear,
it was.
and then it was awesome to watch other medias like Pat McAfee. Hats
Yeah.
off to him.
Yeah.
He eviscerated some people
Yeah, I agree.
on his show,
Even within his own company.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Because he don't care.
it
gives
doesn't matter because
zero
well,
qualms.
here's the thing. It doesn't matter because guess what, guys? Like at the end of the day, like we know what works. You know what I mean? It's not the stuffiness. It's not the like cookie cutter things. It's the authenticity wins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Authenticity wins. And I think Lynn Jones did a perfect job exemplifying Jacksonville. For
Yeah.
those people in
That's
the
what I was
national
gonna
media
say.
that doesn't understand it,
Yeah,
that Southern hospitality, like I think she did a perfect job amplifying that. So like,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I do what Coach said. I do wish she, at least for her sake, wrapped it up with some sort of question because it just fit in awkwardly. Like, when I mean awkwardly, I don't mean that she shouldn't have said it. I just think if you listen to every single press conference this year, you don't hear a statement. And I think the press, the other media members that had an issue with it was like, listen, a fan could come in and say that to him. Like, why do you have a credential about it? It's like, okay, but also she's not in there all the time
No.
either. But also,
Yeah.
I think
But
she
got
read the
what?
room.
She's got
Like
what,
she's been
25 years.
That's my
of
point.
experience.
She's been in the industry for I think she said 30 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
she probably read the room and was just like, all right, this guy just let's give him a beat and say, hey, listen, dude, you had an awesome season. You changed the entire culture. You won 13 games. We
Yeah.
won 4. How many
Yeah.
games did we win the season before?
That would be 4.
So it's like it's a big deal. So I think what she did was awesome. Schmitty, what's your idea on it?
Yeah, I agree with
What's your
all of
thought on
that. And I mean, I understand that, you know, the by the book journalism would require her to ask a question, but the fact of the matter is it was kind of an exceptional situation.
And it was 20 seconds, guys.
Yeah. First of all, that
20 seconds.
it was an
Your
exceptional
your question that you thought you missed out on about why didn't you run the ball for the third time in a row?
Yeah.
It could have been asked still.
Yeah.
Because Liam Cohen, by the way, I don't know if you guys listen to Liam Cohen press conferences. He doesn't leave until he doesn't have a PR person say, "Hey, last one." He
Yeah.
answers
Yeah,
every
he
single
finishes.
question.
He's done a great job the last couple days of not only publicizing the good that we have going on here and the good in his locker room, and he has talked about his coaches and their interviews and all these kind of things. If you follow Pete Schlereth, his his podcast that he did with him is
Yep.
phenomenal. If you want any insight what Coach Cohen is thinking about and some of the things that he's doing on the field, I'd go check it out.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I don't know if it's true, but I did see, and I saw it from multiple places today, that Coach Cohen went out of his way to reach out to Miss Jones and did some things for her and wanted to say thank you. So part of that is just Liam Cohen. Like Liam
Yeah.
earned that because of how honest he's been with the media,
Earned
how
that
he's
statement from her.
correct by his ability to be himself.
The grounds crew he brought.
All
up.
of those kind of things. You're seeing a guy
I mean?
who he made a statement in his opening press conference about it being about Jacksonville,
Mhm.
and he has 100% invested in this deal and the pieces of our deal.
Yeah. No, I love Liam.
It's like she said, you the one. You're the one.
Yeah.
He is. It was an exceptional moment that required an exceptional action.
Mhm.
She saw the opportunity and took it. Hats off to her.
Yeah, I mean, she basically, just to wrap on this, she gave him what he's been giving to Jacksonville the entire time he's been here.
Yeah.
Flowers,
Was
Yeah.
flowers, authenticity, and
Yeah.
appreciation
100%.
to the players, to the facility crew, to
We do have
the
some good
community.
grads.
Like he gave credit to everybody, so it's a big thing. Let's move forward though. Let's go through the playoffs. Let's kind of wrap on this too. Wild card weekend, we can kind of skip through it real quick. There's a handful of games in here that were really good and kind of tailed off. But we'll start with the Rams-Panther game. Just quick 10 seconds on each.
Man, so much better than I thought it was going to be. It actually
Yep.
turned out to be a good game. I thought the Rams were going to handle them. Hats off to the Panthers. They gave them all they wanted. Matthew Stafford is your MVP, period.
Yep.
Bryce Young is better than CJ Stroud.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And I will stand on that
That's a-
until CJ Stroud proves
Oh,
me wrong,
that's
which
a-
he hasn't since his
that's
rookie
fun.
season.
Standing on that hill.
Yeah,
that's
I will.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I like it.
Canales, I thought would for sure get fired at the end of this year.
Yeah.
He's done a good job.
He's
this
been
year.
able to hang on.
Yeah.
But I still like the Rams going forward.
Yeah.
The Packers played the Bears. I told the guys, I was like, listen, I turned the game off
Yeah.
because I was like, this game is over.
I fell
checked,
asleep.
I checked back. I
woke up. I said, "What the hell?"
So both of y'all did a Chargers Jaguars thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
well, here's the issue. I checked back though to start the fourth, and I was like, oh, nothing
Uh-oh.
changed. And then all of a sudden, I wake up and it's 31-27 or whatever it was.
And you're
Yeah.
like, what just happened?
I was like,
Yeah.
there's a zero chance of that. But that's been the Bears all season.
All season.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
like the comfortability of being uncomfortable, you
Yep.
know, and understanding that you still got to go out there and make plays. You know, the Packers imploded, turning
Yeah.
the ball over, doing dumb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is.
Mhm.
The Bears are feisty, man, and you got to go to Chicago to play next week. So
Yeah, it's
I,
gonna be
Yeah.
a tough game.
you know,
I think
the Bears got a chance, man.
Caleb Williams is basically the NFC Trevor Lawrence
Oh,
because he's got a ton of haters out there.
definitely.
He's been
Okay.
billed as the next Aaron Rodgers, right? They didn't
Yeah.
call him generational, but it's like, oh my God, the off-platform
talent.
throws, blah blah
Yes.
blah.
Yeah.
The arm talent's insane.
Mhm.
Rough rookie season.
Had a
Again,
great season this year so far.
This season has been wild. He has
Oh.
made some of the most ridiculous
Offensive
throws
continuity?
in the whole league.
And he's playing within the system, which again, if you're going to talk about Trevor, that's a good comp because Trevor playing within
Coaching
the system,
matters.
Coaching matters.
Coaching matters.
Thank you.
What do you know?
Right there.
This is the number one sport where coaching matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to our game we touched on obviously a lot. The 4:30 game, again, I said the slab got me. I didn't watch a lick of that game. I did have the 49ers winning though, because I do not believe in anything the Philadelphia Eagles do on offense this year.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly the offense coordinator. I think
Who
the other
was-
50%
Who
is
was
Hurts.
removed? He was removed.
Yeah.
He got let go.
He's
So
look-
I
he's
also
looking for
think
good.
Hurts. Realistically, I think he played well in some Super Bowls. I think he's played overall okay, but I don't believe in him as like the guy you know stick around with.
Yeah.
He's kind of in that weird in between stage where you gotta pay him. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Pay him and
Yeah.
keep him around. But he also didn't even throw it over 100 yards against Kansas City when they won. So it's like he has so many good things around him. So
I believe that unfortunately you saw the Chiefs this year and you saw the Eagles. Unfortunately, like the Chiefs regressed right in front of us, and then the injuries grabbed a hold of them, and unfortunately they did not get a chance to defend their 7 straight AFC whatever.
yeah,
And the Eagles, you saw a team that fought themselves all year.
Yeah.
suspensions, penalties,
Mhm.
spitting on people,
Yeah, from the
offensive
first
Very
play of the
first
season.
play of the season.
offensive instability,
Yeah.
quarterback issues, wide receiver disgruntled.
The head coach yelling at the wide receiver on the
So,
sideline. Yeah.
like I call it, the game. The game is you have to be true to the game. Okay, you win a Super Bowl. The hardest thing to do is to come back and do it
Repeat,
again,
yeah.
or to have
Mhm.
the model of consistency to even have the chance. They gave themselves a chance because they're uber talented, but in the end, they weren't good enough to
Yeah.
keep playing.
Last game, Chargers against the Patriots. I think the Patriots got lucky when they drew the Chargers. I don't think Patriots are fully for real. I think they have a good team. I think they're a year early. I think they have good
Yes.
coaching. I think they have a good quarterback, good ownership. I think all that's fine. I just don't think they're missing a splash player on defense, probably on the edge. They're missing another year of rebuilding that offensive line. To really, I think they're going to struggle against Houston this week. I really do. I think
The Texans
Houston's
are excellent on
defense
defense.
are going to kick their face in. And we played them twice. We've seen it up close. I hope it's a good game, but I have a feeling if CJ Stroud does anything in that game, they win.
Or if he just doesn't turn the ball over
3 times
Again,
again.
yeah.
if he can beat Trent Dilfer.
Which we didn't
like-
we didn't touch on
So that
Texans
defense is
Steelers, but
I mean, where does
you know.
just real quick, where does Houston's defense rank from one of the best defense that you've seen over the last 20 years? I mean, the Ravens and the Steelers in early 2000s.
2017 Jaguars.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, Saxonville.
I think statistically,
Broncos.
I'd have to give them a look. Yeah, the orange crust for the Super Bowl 50.
Yeah.
I think they're really good. I think they have 2 of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
And corners.
I think
Yeah.
they have the best corner on their team.
I think Lassiter is almost just as good.
And so they put so much pressure on you to have to be right and to be successful. And, I think they're going to turn themselves after Drake May, and it's going to be a long day for the Patriots.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think they advance.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you guys have? Did we already do? No, you guys missed it. You missed the Super Bowl predictions. So I'm going to have you get it now.
All right.
We're a week late, but I'll let you get it in on record. Who do you guys have in the Super Bowl? And who do you have winning that game?
Who do I actually think is going to make it is not who I want to make it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I think it's going to wind up being Seahawks Texans
Ooh, that's
at this
gonna
point.
be a 3-0 game.
And I don't want to see the Texans succeed in anything, but
think
I
I could
do
watch it.
think they're going to make it all the way just because I don't think
Who do you have
anybody
winning?
in the AFC can handle their defense, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hopefully CJ Stroud does more CJ Stroud things like he did this week and will
I love that Trevor argument is over now. That's cool.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
That's
Let's
awesome.
be mad at Justin Herbert. He's lost 3 playoff games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so unless CJ fumbles their season away, it'll probably be Texans Seahawks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coach, who you got?
When it all started, I firmly believe the winner of our game was going to go to the Super Bowl,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to shy away from that. I believe it's going to be the Bills, and I do believe
That's what I want it to be.
the 49ers right now are
Really? Even with Kittle's out, dude.
Yep, I still think that they right now are playing with a little bit of juju that is
Yep.
that opportunity to play at home, those kind of things.
We got probably the best coaching. Well, one of the best coaching pairings.
absolutely.
Their coaching
Yeah.
staff
You have
is
2 head coaches on
phenomenal.
there.
Yeah.
I like the Bills and the 49ers to give us that Super Bowl that we wanted in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or at least I wanted as a 90s
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
And I wanted to hear Chris Berman finally get to have his moment.
Yeah, I do like the Bills getting there. Now that we're out of it, I'm definitely obviously rooting for them. I still have LA getting there somehow. I think they're gonna figure it out this week. I think even
They're gonna
they
be playing in
they sneaked it out against the Panthers.
negative
um,
temperatures this week.
The Bears game's gonna be tougher than you think, but Bears don't have a good enough defense unless they somehow get turnovers in this game and multiple turnovers. I still think overall LA's a better, well-rounded team, and I do like them beating Seattle the week after. So I have the Bills playing the Rams. It will be a fun Super Bowl. I don't know who's winning that one. I'll root for the Bills.
The fan in me.
I think the Rams could.
I would love to see the Bills play the Bears in the
Okay.
Super Bowl, because then what you get is you get two of the most obsessively insane fan bases in
Yeah.
our sport.
That'd be cool.
One of them is going to go home and be as happy as they've ever been.
Man, Bills
Yeah.
lose another Super Bowl. I would cry.
It would
for
be
them.
heartbreaking.
That would suck.
But
I wish. I hope they do it. I
a
hope
parade
they
in
do it.
Chicago was usually a good time.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
Last thing we'll wrap on this one is head coaching positions. There's, I think as of we speak, 9.
Yeah.
Give me your best candidate and your best job that you would want basically.
Oh,
Who's the best coach on the market, and where is not where they're going, but where do you also think the best opportunity is? I'll go first. I think the Giants are the best opportunity if they get like a young offensive coordinator type of coach that comes in there. Or, I hate to say it, I really like Campanelli going there. I think he fits that culture, that he's from the area. I think he could really help that defense who's got players. He's got a quarterback. He's got neighbors. He's got a run game with Scadaboo. So I think it would fit phenomenally if he can get an offense coordinator. Best candidate, though, it has to be Harbaugh, I think. McDaniel is probably the hottest coach, period, because of the offensive coordinator opportunity he's getting. I think that's why it's hot. He might go, he got a head coaching interview with I think Tennessee today. So, but yeah, who do you guys think?
For me, the best job available is the Baltimore Ravens because of their front office setup. They're outstanding. They don't miss in the draft.
Yeah.
They get people every year that you've never heard of that go out there and play great. I'll say this, being the only person that's called a play and been fired sitting here. So, the message runs stale sometimes. And so you see that with John Harbaugh and with Coach Tomlin. You're in a place 15 years, you're in a place 19 years, especially with grown adult men. How many times are you going to say, you got to do your job, until they're going to be like, man, shut up. So those pieces, the message does run stale. So hats off to those guys for longevity, Super Bowls, consecutive winning seasons, all of those things. But in my opinion, the best candidate is John Harbaugh. And the best job is the Ravens. And, that's not going to work out. They're not going to
get back together.
They're not going to get remarried.
That would be crazy if that ever happened.
Fired.
Fired in the same year they get rehired.
They're like, man, we just didn't find anybody better than you. Will you come back? So
that's funny.
It's one of those things. If I had to, look at the other jobs in ways, like here's the job. You could probably pay me, but I don't think I would do it anyways. Just out of Tennessee's the worst job.
Absolutely.
It's got the longest runway, although I do think it's I don't think it's the worst. I think the Browns still technically would be the worst.
I was going
because
to say
of
the Browns are going to be pretty close.
issue with
those
Garrett
pieces.
And I think Schwartz probably takes that job still.
Okay, so let's look at it this way.
Maybe.
Do the Browns have quality football players?
Yeah.
They arguably have the best defensive player.
That's not much of an argument. He is by far the best
right.
defensive player.
Yeah.
Name one player on the Titans other than Jeffrey Simmons that you would want on your team.
Okay, that's
if
fine.
you didn't have a quarterback,
Sweat, maybe.
Cam Ward,
No.
But I would
Absolutely.
say Pollard, Sweat. I think Cam Ward, if he gets a coach to fix his mechanics and all that, I think would be fine. Like
I
a
don't think he's
Dayball
anything amazing,
or
but he's
something
solid.
like that, I think would be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I want them to hire somebody that makes it even worse.
Oh,
Jason
me too.
Garrett.
Go get
Jason
still
Garrett.
Yeah.
I still hate the Titans.
Yeah. Schmitty, what do you got for the last one?
So I agree. Ravens is probably, if I were a coach, that's who I would want to go coach for. I think the Ravens probably have the best overall setup. This is, probably controversial, but the second for me, I think the Falcons honestly have a decent setup.
They're a lot closer to
Stefanski,
winning.
that's where I'm almost positive.
I could see Stefanski going
Stefanski's
there.
gonna go
In
there.
all honesty, I think the
He would
Matt
be a
Ryan hire
breath
is
of
good.
fresh air for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of some good candidates out there, man, I think Flores needs another shot at a head coaching job, and I like him.
Love to know all the dirt on that deal. He's
got a raw deal a couple times.
He either makes people super mad or he approaches things the wrong way and rubs people the wrong way,
Yeah.
or he is just don't care. He just doesn't care.
Well, yeah. Apparently, from what I understand, what happened down in Miami is he straight up told Tua that he wasn't that impressed with him and kind of wished that they hadn't drafted him, and that upset Tua.
Well, here's
at the time the owner loved Tua. So,
course.
But even before that, they asked him to tank.
Yeah.
and he said, "I don't want
Yeah.
to tank."
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then
and
he
they
got
won,
blackballed. But
they won 6 games in a row. And whatever,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then yeah.
but anyways,
What are you doing winning games?
Yeah.
Gosh, we're trying to build to the draft.
But
Could
anyways,
you imagine going to work and being told you got to lose this week, man? I would not.
you
be
play
fun to
to
work
win the game.
Play to win the game. All right.
But anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys jumping on. It's been a blast. We got some great content coming up lately, going forward rather in the off season. We're gonna have our nice fun. We're not gonna ruin the surprise, but we have a nice fun award show coming up for end season wrap up show, award show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Stay tuned. Make sure you like and subscribe on this video. That way, do the notification, whatever it has to do, so you're aware of it. But next week's gonna be a blast. Don't miss that one. We're trying to get to the combine, so it's gonna.
I mean, you already know.
We got a
Let's
couple
go.
people that might be going to the combine running
Show up with
40s.
clipboards.
I mean,
So,
if I can get Rich Eisen
stopwatches.
on, and we can get Rich Eisen to do a Duval,
Yeah.
we're going to get it done.
So, anyways, guys, appreciate it. It's been a great season for the Jags, even though it's a disappointing ending. But we got a lot more coming. This is just this is ground zero. We're only getting better from here.
Expectations go up.
Yep. All right, awesome, guys. Go Jags.
Duval.
Duval.
Duval.